but what have you been saying about these stories and other trending issues? Bukola joins me now as we walk through your comments. Bukola, what you got for us?
Yes, hello again, Cardi. Quite a lot this morning. Nigerians are talking about, of course, the president's speech. Yesterday, the high point for many Nigerians, even from our conversation, was the announcement of the youth confab that will last for 30 days. And Nigerians are talking about that as well. Of course, the protests, that dotted the landscape throughout the country on October 1 also forms a major talking point. Bakari, let's start with the 30-day National Youth Confab as announced by Mr. President yesterday. And Oluwaseun sends in his thoughts first this morning, and they say, I hope this yields a good outcome that will be implemented by the government. The senators and the reps who voted should be more proactive in their duties too. The Confab report from Jonathan's administration could be used as template and blueprint for this.
And John Adeleke says that this is a positive move. What I will expect the youth organizations to do is to forge a united front and demand for the date of commencement. Each youth organization should try to put their best foot forward at this confab. And it says the discussions there should reflect youth aspiration. Well, that's what this user says.
That's some goodwill, some optimism, about this youth confab. So let's see how it goes. Omoy, is the next one speaking, and they say, is this necessary? Where's the fund to spend on the project coming from? $1.56 billion World Bank loan. Why not implement major ones at GE Jonathan confab?
Right. So essentially saying we've had other confabs, but some will say you get updates even with devices from time to time. You get updates. So maybe this is meant to be an updated confab with the young people leading this one. Well, the jury's still out there, but we wait to see what the dates of the commencement will be. The president did not announce it, so we don't know if it's this year, next year, or the one after. So while we wait, let's tell you about some of the protests that we saw in some parts of the country, at least in the nation's capital, Abuja, and in Lagos. And this protest is over high living costs. What have Nigerians been saying about this? Well, take a look at what Jason Vince has to say. By the way, that's the final comment on that one. But Jason Vince says that let's hope there will be change in any aspect that the citizens would benefit from. So that is essentially an angle to this one, really. Some have said that maybe this youth confab will provide an opportunity for people to also air their grievances, right? So there's the protests on the streets. There's also the protests in the rooms, or at least the dialogue, presenting demands and the rest. So we see how that one plays out. But still staying with that protest, you see this one from Mike, which says that the government must understand that the people are not happy. And that's the essence of protest. To voice your concerns. Let the government know that, hey, this is what we feel, basically.
Yeah. Well, El Kopik is the next person speaking, and they say, I hope the protest yields positive outcome. Well, history of protest has, told us very many details to the contrary. They're hardly successful. But the question is, will Nigerians stop protesting or develop another strategy to getting their demands heard? NG News also says it's encouraging to see citizens raising their voices and taking action. Peaceful protests are a powerful tool for expressing concern and demanding change. Hopefully, this leads to positive solutions and improvements for the community in Ibadan. Not just in Ibadan now. Well, there's some sentiment for
charity
Ibadan.
Begins at home for this user. It's like, well, let's talk about it first. Everybody should represent their own locales. But let's show you what happened in Port Harcourt, where thugs are said to have taken over the protest ground. And it was quite shocking to see the thugs wielding canes and telling journalists, you must not cover it. You cannot cover this. If you come here, we're going to deal with you. And this is in a democracy, and you have security operatives. So I'd like you to take a look at that video and tell you what Nigerians have been saying about that one. So thugs took over the protest ground in Port Harcourt, and police fired tear gas at the protesters in Abuja. thugs taking over in Port Harcourt on channels, TV, social media handles, and on YouTube. It was a very terrible sight to see. But let's see what Oluwatosin has to say in response to this, saying that that's the duty of the police to take care of, right? And it's just a no-brainer, right? If you have thugs taking over, those who are law enforcers should come in and handle the situation. It says it's part of why citizens employ them, to deal with thugs and miscreants, ensuring peace and order. So there's no excuse whatsoever to have that playing out where you have law enforcement agencies.
Well, Idiolongo says hungry police are firing tear gas at protesters. They're hungry for a president that is not hungry. Some very piercing thoughts there coming in from Idiolongo, but you know, it's noteworthy that Nigerians can still come out after, you know, what happened during the last protest, 10-day protest, during which some Nigerians were arrested and some are still in court, you know, trying to determine what offense it is that they committed. You know, but Nigerians are out again on the streets undeterred. It speaks to some form of resilience, whether we like it or not. And the police bears the responsibility to ensure order during these protests and protect, you know, the rights of Nigerians. You know, it's a sacred right of Nigerians to protest, to air their grievances, the right to a peaceful, to lawful assembly.
Yeah, so the police can't tell us that they've not made arrests, right? If there are people who are disrupting, well, a peaceful protest, those people should be arrested. Find out who is sponsoring them. These are, I mean, simple things that the police is meant to handle. So the Rivers Police Command, where you have a lot of answering to do, have those people been arrested? Who sent them? Let us get some sort of closure so these things won't spiral into bigger things, right? So we don't begin to see these same people engaging in kidnapping and all of that, because they were not arrested for seemingly smaller crimes. It's a no-brainer. So we expect that you do right by the people. But guess what? Keep your comments coming in, hashtag CTV Morning Brief. But we'll take a moment now. When we return, we'll take a look at the president's economic speech. You know, you can break down the speech into different areas.
Economic part of the speech.
Yeah, economic part of the speech. There were some figures he gave, right? What do those figures mean? How are they, well, translating to the reality, whether they're true or not? These are issues we'll take a look at in just a few seconds. Stay with us right now.